do like a silent 3, 2, 1. We're like basically.
Well, then otherwise it would start with me saying 2 and then 1.
Okay. All right.
Da-da-da-ba-be-da-boo! Welcome on into the Nontendo Podcast, episode 66. It is a nice, breezy, beautiful, overcast day out here in Pennsylvania and over in Long Island. What's the weather looking like over there, Bob?
It is 72. It is also overcast.
Gorgeous. One of my favorite kinds of weather. Pumpkin spice has finally hit Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts, and the overcast, cool breeze just makes you want to go out and get a nice hot cup of latte.
Today's pumpkin spice day.
Yeah, I actually have already blown my load on a Dunkin' pumpkin spice a couple days ago. I try and they come out way too
your
early.
Load in the first minute of the YouTube video?
I know. It's still summer. I really shouldn't be going this early and grabbing a pumpkin spice. I like to wait until fall, usually, but I never make it there. And this time was the earliest I've ever caved. I am the most basic bitch.
I think the last time I had Starbucks was pumpkin spice. And I was like, oh man, this, I get it. This is good.
It's really the only coffee worth getting at these chain restaurants is the pumpkin spice.
It's true.
Because it drowns out how bad the coffee is with just pumpkin.
Exactly.
Hey, everybody. We're live coming at you from separate homes for quite a few reasons. But the main one, yet again, is E, our wonderful studio host most of the time, is still with Guy Fieri out in California filming his Supermarket Sweep TV show. So
yes.
we did I get that right? I got that right?
Yeah, that's the show. You got it.
It's you laughed like I got it wrong.
No, you got it.
Okay.
Guy Fieri's Supermarket Sweep.
I feel like I'm getting it wrong.
That's the show. That's the name of it.
God damn it. He's actually back next week though, so we should be back in person next week. Another reason why I probably wouldn't have even wanted to make the drive right now is, and I'm not going to go on about it. If you've been following me on socials, I was hacked a few days ago, and
so we
I've
don't
literally
even know if he's really here. Or
I
if
might,
this is the
I
hacker.
might not be me. This might be the hacker. I've spent the last couple of days trying to fix everything. Yesterday, I was reformatting my PC, which had a lot of. It was way harder than it should have been, and it took me all day, and I am very frazzled. Bob and I were also up till like 4 a.m. I don't know what time you went to bed. I went to bed at 4 a.m. When did you get to bed?
All right. Yeah. Yep.
4 a.m. No, you didn't?
No, I went to bed around the same time.
Okay. We were up really late because we did a collab on YouTube today.
A little bingo bango. A little
bingo bango,
bang.
like the old days where we collab and release videos the same day.
A little oopsie and then a little daisy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we were rushing to get them out. I watched yours.
I did not watch
yours. Yeah, there's been very little time since we released them. I watched yours while I was making the thumbnail for this podcast episode. Mm-hmm. I liked it.
Thanks. I hope they do.
I'm always impressed by how you kind of take that idea and make it better. I
gotta tell you, it was a struggle. This one was a struggle.
Yeah, it seemed like you had a bit of a hard time with the watch.
Benny did a really good job piecing it all together, and then I just, put a gloss of paint over it at the end. But I like when I was coming into the edit, I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do with this. But then afterwards, I liked it a lot. I like the finished product.
I always like our collabs. I look forward to you watching mine. Mine's definitely high energy, but fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right.
We got a lot of things. You want to quickly talk about what we're going to talk about?
Yes. Let's quickly go through everything we want to talk about today, and let's see if we actually make it there. The main one is Gamescom just happened. And this is a Nontendo podcast, which you would think would mean we don't talk about Nintendo, but we quite often do. And I think most of Gamescom actually is Nontendo. But there is a lot of cool stuff in here. I mean, we're all gamers. The one thing in particular caught my eye, and I don't know how to say this in a way that doesn't come across like I'm being a little bit facetious, but there is a game in this event that looks exactly like a reimagining of Tears of the Kingdom if it was done on like Xbox.
It's very weird looking.
It's very
wacky. It tripped me
wacky.
up. Outside of that, I mean, there's a lot of Switch games. There's a lot. We have a whole list of Switch games that.
Oh, there is? I actually have seen very little of Gamescom because I've been dealing with the hack situation.
Right.
I only just logged back into YouTube today for the first time in 3 days. But this one game in particular, we're going to talk about it and look over it. It actually looks freaking sick. But there's literally the whole mechanic of an open world floating sky islands that you see above. It looks exactly like an Unreal Engine Tears of the Kingdom. You dive between the layers in real time. It is surreal how much it looks like an Unreal Engine Tears of the Kingdom, but with actually a lot more content to it. So we'll take a look at all of that at Gamescom. We're going to obviously take a minute to appreciate Charles Martinet and wish him the best in the afterlife. Because he has, of course, passed away. So I thought when I first saw Nintendo tweet about him retiring.
I also thought that. They could have worked. They knew what they were doing. They could have worded that a lot better.
I swear to God, my heart sank because I thought he was dead.
Actually,
and then I read that
to be honest, I read it in I think it was Game Explained. Somebody made a post that I also thought was worded like he had died.
I know it's a big deal, and it's so sweet that everyone's caring so much, but the fact that everyone's pouring out all this love for Charles, it is to the level of when someone passes away.
It's ridiculous. And then outside of that, we also have PlayStation's got more information on their new handheld. And
yeah, that was it.
Oh, it's in the dock.
Live. Is it in the? I don't see it in the dock.
Well, okay, that's the. If you look really hard, you'll find the new consoles, PlayStation.
Oh, it was under Gamescom, and I thought that was all PlayStation. Yes, the PlayStation, which is now called Portable, which has a price.
No,
and
it's called Portal.
You're right.
PlayStation Portal.
It has a price, and I was heckin' right.
There's also 4 other consoles that we can talk about. We actually those though.
Had a tough time coming up with clickbait today because it was either the Zelda knockoff or the fact that this other company, Lenovo, is making a Nintendo Switch, and it's a Nintendo Switch clone knockoff. We could have gone both ways with the title.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. Obviously, there's a lot. Do you want to dive straight into Gamescom?
Yeah, I want to dive straight into this. Gamescom, baby. What do you want? You want to do the game? The game you're talking about?
You want to do it straight up?
I mean, it's the clickbait. Let's hit him with it.
All right. It's a pretty long trailer. There's a lot of meat to dive into.
Okay. Where is the gameplay trailer? Okay. Sure.
You gonna bring it up? You're gonna.
I'm going to. I forgot which button I have to hit.
Whack it and roll
Is it this one? Nope. Is it this one? It's that one.
So the game's called Crimson something. Crimson Desert.
I love a good dessert.
And so do I. What you see here might not look very appealing, but just wait until this trailer starts. Because the longer it goes on, the more insane it gets.
Yeah, the wackier it gets. When this was playing, I think I saw a little bit of it live, and people were like, "Oh, a new For Honor," and I was like, "Oh, really?" And then I was like, "It kind of looks like it," and I was like,
"Because it starts with this very traditional, but like fun-looking samurai sort of For Honor sort of combat fighting." But the more it goes on, the more you realize it is so much more than that.
Yeah, it looked like For Honor. Then I was like, maybe it's Assassin's Creed. And then I was like, I don't know. That guy doesn't look like an Assassin's Creed guy. And then you got all these beautiful landscapes.
Yeah, it looks beautifully incredible. I also want to point out the animations for the horse and the steering for the horse look revolutionary. They're doing a lot of things on this horse and like taking these really sharp turns. The way that he strafes with the horse and the horse will like sidestep.
I gotta see him carrying the sheep.
Yeah, look at this. So he picks up a picture of a sheep.
Wait, the sheep is just rock solid. The sheep is not moving at all, like a brick.
It's a good boy. So Like, this is where it starts to get wacky with what you can do in this game. Like, finding a missing sheep. There's a lot of pet stuff in here. Like, there's a whole montage of petting cats and petting dogs and petting goats.
I mean, it does
people.
just look a lot like Assassin's Creed.
It does right now, but again, the more it goes along, the more it seems like the kind of game that has a mentality of you can do absolutely anything in the game.
See now here's the
This
thing.
fishing-
As far as we've gotten in the trailer, everything looks hyper realistic. Everything looks like a period piece, like you're in medieval times. We just saw a goat man.
A goat man.
There he is. This is the first semblance that anything is weird in this world.
I didn't even notice that. Yeah, that is a goat man.
I wouldn't have noticed that watching it first, because then when you get later in the trailer, it gets weirder and weirder.
It keeps getting weird. I love this trailer. So you've got fishing, which looks like it actually has good fishing mechanics. Then you're fighting a crab, but on a 2D plane as well. This almost looks like a Street Fighter level.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not like, that's what I mean. The more you look at it and the further along it gets, like, why is there a donkey staring at you petting a dog?
That was Shrek Donkey. That's
Shrek Donkey staring at you petting a dog. Then it cuts to carrying a cat.
We're praising the animations with the animals and stuff, but every once in a while you get like an Unreal asset just stiff. Looks like something you'd find in like a Bass Pro Shop.
It could either be unfinished or it could be to be funny. Like, it could just be for memes.
Maybe
up in a hot air balloon. See, now we start seeing very quick. It cuts back to it later, but you start seeing the floating islands up in the sky.
Yeah, this thing's
here.
We're on insane.
We were on a floating island right there, climbing trees, climbing over everything. So you have that climbing mechanic, breaking in horses like in Zelda or Red Dead. Literally, like this here, go back just a little bit.
It's like
that is like
it's
the Ultra Hand. You literally have an Ultra Hand where you can go back a little bit more. He's opening the door with an Ultra Hand. That looks straight out of like a Zelda shrine puzzle or something.
Yeah, it looks like there's shrines. It looks like there's dungeons.
And that was all up in floating sky islands. Go back a little bit more.
He just drifted on a horse.
That's what I mean by the horse mechanics. They're actually wild, dude. They look so good. And then pole vaulting over. This is where it starts to get into like, what can't you do in this game?
That horse is dead, by the way.
That horse is dead.
He just killed that horse.
And it's getting into the territory now of like wacky. This is a comic book.
Dead.
It's a comic book cartoony jumping off of Yoshi over a gap in Super Mario. Like, let's just have fun with the game. And now it's getting, and remember how this trailer, they're falling down from the sky. Remember how this trailer started looking at For Honor, and now we're here. It looks like Nier Automata all of a sudden.
Yeah, where's he gonna go when he's falling from the sky? What happened? Oh, well, we kind of see it later. There's like portals.
He also like flew at one point and turned into a shape-shifting thing. Okay. Throwing a guy around.
He just threw a 200-pound man.
Like, it's sick. It's getting cooler and cooler. And then you're back to some more, like, traditional fun-looking combat. Nier Automata again with a giant dragon. Robot dragon.
Okay. You know, I don't like medieval stuff. And now I'm a little interested.
Tell me this isn't looking sick. And now you're straight up in the sky, jumping off sky islands, doing the whole Zelda falling down from the kingdom thing to below. It looks like there might be a transition screen here and maybe not in real time. I don't know what's happening, but obviously that you are descending back down to Hyrule. It's just kind of, it's kind of crazy because you have a lot of games that came out after Breath of the Wild that were clearly inspired by Breath of the Wild. Elden Ring was one of them, and they even said that game was inspired by Breath of the Wild. Sonic Frontiers. But they usually come out a couple years later, right? They need some development time to be inspired by. I don't know what has happened here, because clearly, I mean, unless they saw what Nintendo was kind of going for a couple years ago when they started revealing, like, oh, we're adding Sky Islands, and they were like, we're making a game, let's add Sky Islands, it'll come out around the same time as Zelda. Unless that is kind of what happened, this could just be a giant coincidence. If this game came out a year from now, a year and a half from now, I would say, oh, this is inspired by Tears of the Kingdom. It's really cool to see a new take on it. Having it come out like 3 months later is so strange. It's cool, but it's so wild.
It's very fast. I mean, I'm sure there's still a lot more time left for them to develop this, but it does feel like they definitely tacked on the sky stuff. They probably made a whole game and then they're like, ooh, the sky stuff. We could just put sky stuff.
I mean, that's definitely possible. Someone said, someone keeps saying, go back to the flute part. Watch the flute part one more time.
I don't know what the flute.
I don't know what's so. Yeah, I don't even know where that is.
Give me a timestamp in the trailer if you got a flute thing. I don't. There's no release date or anything. This might This might take a really long time before we see it. Although it looks pretty good.
It looks like it's in good shape, other than some
they gotta
animal animations.
They gotta make they gotta give some ragdoll to the sheep.
I want to do a poll in chat. Should we do, does this look like a Tears of the Kingdom clone? Or should I do, does this game look sick? Like, which one should I do? Maybe one after the other?
Yeah, do both. I'm interested in both.
Is this a
Well, do you think they copied Zelda? Like, do you think that they took ideas from Zelda for this game? Or do you think this was just a coincidence?
All right. So I'm going to say, do you think they copied Zelda, but we'll also say it could be borrowed, influenced, any of that.
Gilgamesh says, I don't know. They also made Black Desert Online. You know, every time I see a Korean studio, I always go, oh, that's the guys that made Black Desert, right? And I'm always wrong.
Yeah. What? Sorry, I was typing. What development team is this? What else have they done?
It might be Black Desert. Pearl Abyss. Oh, no, that's the publisher. Pearl Abyss, I believe, did Black. Oh no, it is the developer. They did Pearl Abyss. They did Black Desert Online.
Pearl Abyss. I don't know what that is.
Also, Shadow Arena.
Black Desert. Well, this is Crimson Desert. Is it like a sequel of some kind?
No, Black Desert's an MMORPG where it has a crazy character customization.
I have never heard of it.
You never heard of it?
No.
It's a big old MMO that has crazy character customization.
Okay. Well, then I assume this. Well, I don't want to assume anything, but maybe this game will have it too.
That'd be great. It looks like there's probably a story and you play like a main character. But
well, if they're known for good character creation, I don't see why they would do away with that. So I'm looking at all their games, and yeah, that's really it. Crimson Desert, Black Desert, something called Plan 8, and then something called Doki V, which is in development. Dokev.
That's Dokev is the Pokemon game for the PlayStation 5 with like skateboards and stuff.
Is that the one that had the... Oh, that does look sick. I don't know what this is. Have I seen this? I'm looking at this trailer real quick.
Published by Black Desert.
Oh!
Published by Pearl Abyss, not actually developed.
Yes, I have seen... Dude, we should pull this trailer up. Here, I'm gonna drop this trailer in the chat.
It does say Pearl Abyss.
Go ahead and open that bad boy. Because this looks nuts, actually.
Yeah, no, so, I've been looking forward to this game.
All their games are in development other than that one MMO. This looks amazing visually. Wow. And
it looks amazing visually. It's basically a Pokemon game.
Look at these animations. Are these in-game animations? That's like Pixar level movie in-game animations. That's nuts. You can
see that the frame rate has a really hard time keeping up, especially when there's like particle effects.
This can't be real. This looks like a movie. Having seen Crimson Desert and the visual quality there, and now looking at whatever the hell this is, has this developer like found a secret? Like, these games look insane. No way they come out looking this good.
I thought Dokev was, or Doke V, whatever you want to call it. I thought this was a smaller team. I didn't know it was Pearl Abyss.
Someone said in chat, good point, Chris. And I looked up and Chris said, it looks awesome. Yeah, good point. It looks great. Dude, that actually looks nuts. All right.
This looks cool because it's Pokemon, but you fight with them. Like you're in the ring with them.
Can I point something out?
Uh-huh.
So the poll says 52%. I don't think so. So I don't think so is winning. I think we're actually a little naive here. This development team has like 3 games they're making right now. we're trying to decide whether or not one of them is a Zelda-inspired clone. Their other game is Pokemon-inspired. Like, what's the chance that the other one that looks like Zelda isn't also Zelda-inspired? Like,
right.
I feel like that's concrete. I don't want to say evidence because I don't actually have any, but I mean, come on. They're making 2 games. 2 of their 3 games right now look like Zelda Nintendo games.
This looks like if Pixar made a Nintendo game. That's what this looks like.
I'm even more convinced now that they borrowed the Sky Islands from Tears of the Kingdom.
Also, the music in this game that I can't play. It's like some K-pop song. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that trailer looks sick. All right. Well, the poll was split down the middle, but honestly, I think I'm going to end that poll and do one more with this new influence, this new evidence that they're making a Pokemon game.
Yeah.
Did we actually see any of the Pokemon stuff? Because like there was a picture
towards the end. You see the fights.
Oh, okay. You showed that?
You like befriend. Yes, you befriend the like monsters or and fight other monsters.
Because there's like a picture on their website here that literally looks like Pokemon. I don't know if you want to bring that up. I actually bring that up because I need this evidence for the poll I'm about to do.
What is this?
See, just that picture.
Okay.
I just want them to see that Pokemon that looks like Pokemon.
Yeah. You have like little animal buddies, little weird animal guys.
Do you think Crimson Desert? No, hold on. Do you think they were inspired by Zelda? Yes. No. I'm gonna run this poll one more time with this new evidence of the Pokemon clone and see if we get a different result. People in chat are saying, Bob, stop clicking the Discord links from Wood. You're going to get hacked.
His hacker is still in his Discord and is banning me now from other Discord chats that we're in.
Discord does not care, man. It's been 4 days. I opened a ticket 4 days ago. Jordan got hacked too by the fake me once I was hacked. And we've both tagged Discord on Twitter like 100 times. They don't care. They could care less.
No, they don't care.
The poll is now the poll is very, very convinced. It only just started, but we're 76% yes, they were inspired by Zelda.
You were basically like, oh, you guys voted wrong. Vote right this time now.
No, because I understood the 50-50 before I saw the Pokemon thing. Mm-hmm. If I hadn't seen the Pokemon thing, I would have taken the 50-50 and been like, no, that's fair. I mean, the whole game, the whole Black Desert, whatever, other one, Crimson Desert, the whole game itself doesn't really scream Zelda. It's just the Sky Islands and the transitioning between that I'm like, obviously that's Zelda. But if you don't see that, it's fine. But with the revelation,
the Sky Islands and the way he falls and stuff, it seemed pretty Zelda inspired to me. Although it could be a wild coincidence. I don't think the like shrines and the altar hand and stuff like that, I don't think that's a coincidence because they at bare minimum took inspiration from Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, we didn't even really focus on the Ultra Hand part, but there was literally a clip of him using Ultra Hand in that trailer. Like, I think it's pretty damning, but not in a bad way. I mean, these things can be fine. I mean, like, being inspired by a game is fine, and the game is clearly very different to Zelda. The interesting thing here, which we haven't touched on, is Nintendo, as we talked about recently, has trademarked a lot of mechanics from Tears of the Kingdom, and I believe the abilities was one of them. So I wonder where Ultra Hand might fit into that.
Maybe they knew about this game and they were like, oh, we need to do something.
Yeah, they tried to get ahead of it, maybe.
Because other people are going to start doing the same stuff. You know?
I mean, or maybe, they just heard about stories like this where they're like, hey, this team's working on a game and they're adding a lot of your mechanics. So they might have been like, ooh, let's lock some of these down real quick so they can add all of them. Because can you imagine if like this game, which seemingly has a lot going on, also added in every Zelda mechanic.
Yeah.
And now you have Zelda and more. Like that's getting a little wacky.
So I don't know how I feel about that, because like we talked about this when we talked about all of the patents that Nintendo made in a previous episode. I think it's great when game developers take ideas from other developers and iterate off of them and build off of them. I guess they make it transformative, so it's not so bad. Because then we get great ideas that are iterated and implemented in newer games, and they just become better and better
Elden
and better.
Ring.
Sure, yeah. And things become like mostly standardized with games. Like I always think about how like first-person shooter controls are pretty much standard now on consoles, and they were not like 15 years ago. Everybody had a weird, wacky one. And imagine if somebody copyrighted that. That would be horrible. That would ruin the whole rest of the industry.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I don't know where I stand. I mean, I know that I want people to take inspiration from Zelda for sure. You don't want people to make a direct copy, but also I feel like it would be almost impossible to do exactly what Nintendo did with Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild. No one's going to be able to make a game like that at that scale.
No.
That's that good.
They don't have the resources or the budget or the time to do something that crazy, but they can definitely do like a cheaper knockoff version, which Nintendo wouldn't want to happen either.
Yeah, but then nobody wants to play that because they could just play Zelda.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
Yeah, that's true.
And then it makes Zelda look good. So like that's why it's like not a big deal if they don't copyright stuff.
Games being inspired by a game like Zelda is great. I mean, again, I'll say Elden Ring one more time, but there was also Genshin Impact, which said that they were directly inspired by Breath of the Wild, and that game is super mega popular, and it's its own thing entirely. Like, you can see the inspiration, and there are things that are almost a one-for-one. You take a clip of a character gliding on a glider in Genshin and put it next to Link, and it's like you're looking at the same game.
Yeah.
But ultimately, if you've played both of them, you know that they're completely different experiences, and a lot of people love that game now, and it's crazy to think that it wouldn't even exist without Breath of the Wild. So being inspired is a good thing. Copying is a bad thing,
right.
Which is the same thing for any medium.
Right. Yeah, I guess there's examples of both. There's examples of people like Genshin Impact. It looks like Breath of the Wild, but then you play it and you're like, oh, this has a lot of things that are like way different. It's not the same game at all. It's like an always online experience and whatever. And then there's a game like Oceanhorn, which is trying to be like the Zelda light. And it's like, but I don't want this. I could just play Zelda.
I mean, Oceanhorn is one of those classic examples of a Zelda clone that people think of when they say clone, because it's so easily almost a one-for-one. But I will say that even that is very different. Both Oceanhorn 1 and 2 are very different games to Zelda.
Oceanhorn 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oceanhorn 1 it had like a Wind Waker ideals, but it was on like a more, I don't want to say 2D, but like a 2D, 3D plane. And it was more like old school Zeldas in the way that it played, almost like
I think it was like isometric.
Yeah, it was like a Link to the Past Wind Waker, which it was way more of a carbon copy than Oceanhorn 2, which was also a Zelda essentially clone. But again, you play it, it feels completely different.
Chat's saying Tunic. Tunic had a dodge roll. So
if you're gonna put Tunic in there, there's a lot of games we could start adding in here. Like It'll Do and It'll Do 2 are literally Zelda clones that are fantastic, but they play exactly like Super Nintendo Zelda, which are great, by the way. Also, Tunic, they literally dress the fox up to be Link. So, I mean, they know what they're doing over there.
They know what they're doing.
All right, you want to take a look at the rest of Gamescom?
Yeah, I haven't actually looked at this list. This is a list specifically of the Switch stuff.
Okay.
Are we cool with that?
Can focus on... Yeah, I don't care. This is the only non-Switch thing that I thought we obviously had to talk about.
This is from Nintendo Life. Every Switch announcement at Future Game Show, Gamescom 2023.
Let's second go. By the way, I had no idea Gamescom was happening, and it was on in like the middle of the day.
Because it's in Germany.
Oh, I was going to say, why are they acting like it's night? It is 11 a.m.
I saw bits and pieces of it. I saw the first day. I saw a decent amount of the first day, and there was cool stuff. It wasn't like a big old E3, but there was some decent stuff. There one game that I'm very interested in. I'm already going completely against what we just said. I'm not doing this Switch stuff right now. One of the games that I saw in the original thing was The Crew, which is just a racing game. Which you'd think like, oh, why is Bob interested in a racing game? There's a battle royale mode, and it makes it like Burnout, where there's 36 racers against each other, and you have to knock them all out. I don't know if it's racing or if it's like a derby, though. I hope it's racing the 36 people, because that would be sick.
I want to tell you why I'm actually excited for that too. I want to address Melvor in the chat, who's an old friend, who says, wait, so is Nintendo going after them? No, they're not going to go after them. We were talking about how they've trademarked a lot of Zelda's ideas, and this game is kind of getting close to them, but there's probably nothing will happen. Right. I'm excited for that because I don't like car games at all. I barely even like Mario Kart. But Forza 4, which was the one that was like you could play with all your friends?
I don't know. They all have multiplayer. Horizon.
There was
Horizon. I see you all the time as a ghost player whenever I turn it on.
Because I hate car games, but my friend asked me to try this one because it's kind of like a car game MMO where you're in the game and you're completing challenges and races and finding treasure maps. But there's all your friends can be in the game too. And if you drive past one, you can like challenge them to a drag race. And it's kind of cool that you're in the game with your friends completing objectives. I actually had a lot of fun with that. So that's what the one that you just said sounds like to me.
The only other games outside of Nintendo stuff that I'll talk about is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. We got more information on that. And we also got word, this is completely outside of Gamescom, that Microsoft is giving up their streaming rights to Activision games. They're giving those rights to Ubisoft. So now Ubisoft Plus is where you're going to be streaming Call of Duty games if you want to play them.
That is
if you want to play Call of Duty.
Strange.
Now, Ubisoft has the rights, so they have the right to license the streaming rights to other streaming platforms. So this doesn't mean that it's not going to be on Game Pass. It could still also be on Game Pass. Xbox just has to pay a royalty to Ubisoft if they want to.
That is so strange.
If
Ubisoft keep adding other companies to their streaming platform, I wonder if they'll eventually, because I could see Ubisoft doing this, changing the name and launching their own Game Pass service.
I think, well, I mean, they already, well, it's just Activision stuff so far.
I'm just saying, but if they're in the mindset of acquiring things to add to their service that aren't Ubisoft things, because they're gonna have just Activision.
So like they have a little bit of something else. Their service is bad. They don't have a lot. They just have basically Ubisoft games, and then they added like a sprinkling of some other weird stuff that I don't remember. But I think what happened was Microsoft was like, "What's the least threatening streaming platform that has a pretty good baseline like technology?" Oh, Ubisoft. Here, you can have our games, because they don't want to give it to PlayStation. They don't want to give it to anyone else. They don't want to give it to Amazon. So that's what they did. I think it's possible if you want to play Call of Duty on your Nintendo Switch, there's a possibility you might be playing it through Ubisoft Plus.
I mean, Call of Duty is coming to Switch in some form.
Yes, they have said they are going to put it on Switch in some form. Yes.
I don't know what that's going to look like. It's one of two ways, because modern Call of Duty is not working on the Switch. It just won't. There's no way. It just won't.
It's so poorly optimized.
And even if it was greatly optimized, it's just not going to work. Especially not with the online components. It would struggle too much.
Well, so Apex did it.
And it's horrible.
It's not great.
It's horrible, and it took them like a year longer to develop than they thought because of how hard it was to port it onto the system. I just don't think it's going to happen that way. Is it a possibility? Sure, but I'm not counting it as one. So I think you have the mobile games could come to Switch, and a lot of people do like Call of Duty Mobile, and it has a very active ecosystem, so I could see them doing that. Or cloud, but I just can't imagine streaming an online FPS.
So I was reading a little bit about a Phil Spencer interview at Gamescom last night while I was resting my head on the pillow. And he is really championing how Xbox just needs to be on as many devices as possible. He's playing a lot on his ROG Ally because that's a Windows handheld. He also was talking about the Steam Deck and stuff. And they asked him, what about games that like can't run on that stuff? And he's like, streaming. We're just going to stream them. So that's the head of Xbox saying we're all down with just streaming stuff, which makes sense. I mean, they're really behind Game Pass.
If Call of Duty was streamed on Switch and Xbox were behind it, I could see that working better. Well, we've talked about this a few times, but I've played every streaming game on the Switch, and they all suck, and they all use the same service. If it's a different service,
I think it would definitely be a different service if Ubisoft or Activision. Well, does Ubisoft have streaming games on Switch yet at all?
I mean, I played them all, as I said, and I can't think of a Ubisoft one off the top of my head.
Yeah, so actually, I think in Japan, some Assassin's Creed games, maybe? I might be making that up. I think if they're going to do it, they're going to put the full force of Microsoft behind it. Ubisoft would probably need some help with that. I don't know what that deal would look like. I'm assuming Ubisoft uses Microsoft Azure. A lot of companies, even PlayStation, uses Microsoft Azure for their streaming platform. So PlayStation Plus Premium and Xbox X Cloud are using the same fucking thing. So
you are right. You can stream Assassin's Creed Odyssey on the Switch, which I'm guessing is just Japan because it says 2018. Unless that's just the when the game came out. I don't know when the streaming happened.
So the reason why a lot of stuff gets streamed in Japan is because their internet's so good. Their infrastructure is awesome. So
how
they're
is it
just cool with it. It is.
Do we not have what are they? They have better than fiber, 1,000 down, 1,000 up.
You have fiber.
Yeah, I'm a badass.
I have fiber. Most of the country does not have fiber.
Well, they're not badass. What do you want from me? Yeah, I mean, I don't know how. I mean, I guess it's Japan only, but you can stream Odyssey on the Switch. So they do have one. I'm very curious on how that... We're going to Japan next month.
Uh-huh.
Can we try it while we're there?
We could just try it now. Just download it off of... Oh, but then it would have to probably go to a Japanese server.
It would have to ping from Japanese servers too, which might not be the best representation.
Then yeah, we can absolutely try it.
Yeah, we should try that, and we should try Phantasy Star Online too, because that's, I believe, also only in Japan.
Okay. I mean, I'm behind what Phil Spencer is saying because I also believe that streaming has a place in games. I know people don't like it because it's not the best way to play the games, but it makes the game so much more accessible to people because not everybody's got the nice new console. Not everybody's got a nice new PC that's going to be able to play Starfield when it comes out, but you can just open up a Chrome browser and xCloud Starfield, and then you just have it. And that's amazing technology.
Yeah, I will say that the whole streaming thing is not for me yet, but when I try it and it works really well, I'm always really floored and impressed.
It's not for me until I need it, and then I use it, and I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome. You know?
I mean, I've got that Virtua neckband glasses situation. Which I did a sponsor for it today. It's not a sponsor right now. But when I was testing it all out, it had me connect my Xbox to the neckband that I wore around my neck. And then I connected my Xbox controller, to my neckband. Mm-hmm. And I was walking around the house streaming my Xbox to my glasses. And I I can't believe how far technology has come. And when I'm doing stuff like that, I'm like, I'll probably never do this for real, but it is so cool that I can do it. And the fact that Starfield, one of the biggest releases in the era of gaming ever, is coming out in just a few short days, and you'll be able to day one just stream it over the cloud to glasses from your neck. Is insane. It is insane where we're at right now.
I think the large majority of people, the use case is, oh, I only have this one shitty laptop, but I want to play Starfield. What do I do? Oh, I just get an xCloud subscription for $1. And then I'm playing Starfield. You know?
So often they'll be like, you can get 3 months of Xbox Live and cloud streaming, and we'll also come to your house and give you a head massage every day for $1 a month.
Yeah. They don't.
Crazy.
I think the dollar deal is long gone. I'm not sure though. You can always find, like, if you're a new customer, they give you deals like that. Yeah. Someone
in chat just said, Brooke said, why guys going to Japan? Because guys are excited for Japan. They just said, why guys?
Guys are. Dude.
We're going to Japan next month, and there'll be some podcast episodes, probably a couple weeks worth, filmed in Japan. So very exciting. If you guys want anything from the podcast in Japan, let us know now. Let us know in I was going to say Discord, but I'm not there. Not the real me.
All right, let's actually talk about the Nintendo stuff that was at Gamescom. Okay. Blasphemous. I might play this tonight.
Reek, thank you for the $5 super chat. All right, now you can.
Blasphemous 2, I might play this tonight. This looks sick. I never played the first one. We've talked about this on the show before. Very excited to jump into some Blasphemous.
Yeah, Thursdays sometimes could be a heavy day for you guys because Bob often uploads. I sometimes upload YouTube videos. But today we both uploaded. We're both live right now with the podcast. And tonight we'll both be live on Twitch. And I think we're even both playing Blasphemous because I actually wanted to check this one out as well.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff I wanted to try today. Also, Armored Core comes out today.
Oh, there is a lot happening right now. There's that Armored Core, which is huge. There's Blasphemous. WrestleQuest randomly dropped on the Switch 2 days ago after being delayed a week or two. There's something else out on the Switch right now. And then Starfield comes out in like 6 days.
Bomb Rush Cyberpunk came out last week.
And yeah, Bomb Rush.
That is great. It's kind of just feels like a Dreamcast game, so I'm hesitant to like recommend it to people, but I love that shit, so I was all over it.
How did it get received? Because people were really excited for that.
I think people seem to generally like it. I don't know what the reviews are.
Expectations were pretty high on that for an indie game, which is always a little concerning.
I'm trying to like temper people's expectations because I don't know what I was expecting, but it does just feel like a Dreamcast game. But I like it. It's very good.
It looks good.
And it runs
$40
really, really good.
Though.
$40 is a lot.
Is it worth it?
It was to me. I don't know how much is in the game. I only played like 3 hours of it.
You know what else dropped that's not bad? Vampire Survivors dropped on Switch recently. It's only $5, and it's an addictive little game. So there's a lot popping on Switch right now. I need to do another eShop video.
What about AK Zolotl?
I've never heard of it, but I'm loving the premise.
I've never heard of this either. It's an axolotl, but with an AK.
Oh my god, it's so cute.
You even pronounce that.
Oh my god, I thought it was Vampire Survivors for a second. It's very similar to Vampire Survivors.
It's Enter the Gungeon, but you're an axolotl.
Yeah. No, I like the visual art style. Oh my god, that raccoon's really cute. Okay, I'm interested.
Yeah, it looks cool. We got Bloomtown, a different story. I'm just gonna blow past these. Stop me if you.
Oh, you know what? I did see a trailer of. I don't know if it's in here or coming to Switch. Little Nightmares 3 had a trailer, and it looks really good.
I don't know. Is that slated for the Switch?
Little Nightmares 1 and 2 is on Switch, but they are. This one does look relatively graphically intensive. It looks beautiful, so I don't know.
I did see that. I think I heard that Little Nightmares, the developers left the publisher, and the publisher is making the game without them. So this is so I don't know if this is like a real Little Nightmares game. I think this is I think this is what do you call it? Harvest Moon store type situation.
Oh, well, I mean, it looked great, so
It could be good. It could still be good, but
yeah, I'm hoping it's good. But I always feel bad about that now. I don't know if I like that.
yeah, it's like, am I allowed to buy Metal Gear Delta because Kojima's not involved? Am I
I don't even know
allowed
what
to?
that is.
Am I allowed to like it? The new Metal Gear 3, the remake.
Oh, right.
Anyway, I don't know
You
this.
will.
I will get it.
You will.
This game looks cool. I didn't see this one at all. The Last Faith.
It looks like Blasphemous.
It looks like Blasphemous. Yeah, it looks a little more like Castlevania stuff. I mean, it looks just like Blasphemous, but slightly more Castlevania inspired.
Yeah, it looks badass. I like it. Oh, yeah, that's just straight up Castlevania.
I've been playing Castlevania on my Game Boy. I'm on a little Castlevania kick.
Okay. Well, add that one to your rotation.
I don't know this game. It's a Wrap. Well, that was quick. It's a Wrap Switch version was announced earlier this month, and it turns out it's also coming out this month.
Why does it have
day of the month.
Why does it have an Adobe Premiere timeline?
Yeah, I don't know. What was that? I want to.
That looks like what I was doing last night till 4 a.m. Just editing.
Is out on PC, so if you, okay, now why don't you tell me what the game is?
Oh, it's literally like a Premiere. It looks like Adobe.
Take the director's chair.
So you edit the levels yourself? I don't understand what's happening.
Like a video though?
Oh, it's called It's a Wrap. So you're making a video game movie? You're editing the movie of the game?
It seems like the timeline, like a Premiere Pro timeline, is the game mechanic that controls the game. It's very strange looking.
It looks like you know what I bet it is? I bet there's like a character on the screen and he's like moving and you don't have control over him and you could control pieces of the world.
Yeah.
And you got to try and time them and move them around the timeline so he gets from one side to another.
It says
that's what I bet it is.
Time bending puzzles, rehearse, perform, and rewind. So yeah, that's what it is. It
already won a bunch of awards, I guess.
Very interesting. We should win some awards. We should just say we won a bunch of awards.
Yeah, I mean,
guys, give us some awards. Write some awards
top 10
in the
Apple
chat.
Podcast spot for a year and a half running.
All right, It's a Wrap. Interesting premise. I don't know Phantom Spark. I don't know half these games. Looks like a racing game.
It's F-Zero. Looks like F-Zero. Or Wipeout,
F-Zero.
actually.
Yep. Super Adventure Hand.
We are 22 on the Apple charts right now. Guys, please listen to the audio version. We need to boost back up. We're down 9 spots.
It's been a week. We usually go up when we post. I wouldn't be too worried about it. I don't like pirate stuff. I'm moving on. After Dream. A release date for After Dream was revealed earlier today, but Future Games Show gave us a quick look at the surreal horror adventure. Hey, could you write a little blurb about what the game is?
It looks
trying to fill a word count.
It looks exactly like another game I've played.
Gotta say, not
impressed by some of the later.
Not impressed by anything. Okay, Warframe. Warframe's been out.
Warframe to this day is probably the most impressive Nintendo Switch port. This game looks insane. I was
gonna bring that up when we were talking about Call of Duty stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, Warframe is a game that's been around forever, but the Switch port does run and play great.
Was this ported by Panic Button? Because if so, I have a story about it. Okay, so my story about this is Panic Button are such, and I believe it was for Warframe. It was for a Switch game, and I believe Warframe. Panic Button are such great developers and porters to the Switch that when Warframe gave them their game to put on Switch, Panic Button found a way to optimize the game so well and in such a way that they told Warframe that they could optimize their own PC version, and they knocked the PC version from 150 gigs to under 100 gigs.
Hell yeah.
How insane is that? They took someone else's game and were like, yeah, you can optimize the PC version better than what you're doing.
That's a good port house because putting a game on a lower powered console is like putting a game on a shitty PC, So being able to, if you're going to port Apex Legends to the Switch, you might as well utilize some of that technology that you're using to make it run on shitty computers too. And Call of Duty is not ready for shitty computers. So they're not going to be ready for low-powered consoles.
Can you imagine how the Warframe developers, how excited they were to hire a team to port a game to the Switch, and that team manages to figure out a way that they can sell even more PC versions?
Yeah, I know.
Panic button and nuts, dude. Like, I just want to take a second to appreciate them. They did Doom, the Wolfenstein games, Warframe, Subnautica, Torchlight, and, well, they did Apex. But to be honest, they did the best they could with Apex. The fact that they even got it on Switch is crazy.
So they did Doom, and then everyone was like, we want those guys.
Yeah. For like first-person games primarily, yeah, everyone was like, we need those guys.
So this Warframe announcement that was at Gamescom is them just saying, hey, we have TennoCon, which is their own convention, and we'll have more information there. That's all this is.
That's kind of lame.
Wild Country, Ravenswatch, Symphonia.
Symphonia what?
Literally, see, that's what I thought in my head. It's literally just Symphonia.
Oh, yeah, I don't know what that is.
A lot of... this looks cool, though.
See, don't judge a book by its cover.
While Symphonia wasn't specified for Switch, PC and consoles is good enough for us with this gorgeous-looking musical platformer. Oh, I've heard of this. Use your violin to restore life to the world and power machinery to help you explore this steampunk-looking world. See, now that's how you give a description to a game.
It looks kind of like Hollow Knight.
Yes. It looks like Hollow Knight with it's brighter and more colorful and
yeah, kind of like Hollow Knight with more
nice.
Celeste controls.
Sure. Dome King Cabbage. It's just a lot of... We're just throwing a lot of things at the wall. That's
at this point, these indie devs, there's so many indie games. They got to be randomly generating names on a website.
I thought there'd be more AAA stuff at Gamescom. Nintendo
I didn't know
usually has stuff going on at Gamescom.
I didn't know Gamescom was happening. 2, I didn't think there were any Switch stuff from Gamescom. That smattering, there was some good stuff in there, but like Blasphemous 2 we already knew about. A couple of those things we already know about.
Yeah, even after day one, there was some cool stuff in the showcase that they had, but for the most part, I was like, this is Gamescom? Like, that's what you got, man? What
is Gamescom? Why do I not even know what that is? Have I just been missing it every year?
Yes, it's E3 in Europe.
Oh, God. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm looking at a complete list here. I'm going to run through a couple things that I found interesting in the whole event. Killing Floor 3.
Oh, yeah.
This is weird, but I have some nostalgia of playing the first one with my high school friends. It's actually kind of fun. And the third one looks like it might be okay. There was some weird knockoff Star Wars with Rebel Moon.
Oh, so that's Zack Snyder's movie that he wanted to make a Star Wars movie, and they said no. And he's like, well, I'm doing it anyway. And then he's literally just ripping off Star Wars.
Yeah, that guy is wild and wacky.
Yeah.
Sonic Superstars, you said that you still don't see.
Yeah, they had a multiplayer trailer. It's for just the multiplayer, and we still have no idea what happens when somebody reaches the edge of the screen.
There's a Switch thing that we missed. I just sent it in chat.
Oh, Sonic Frontiers?
Yeah, there's DLC for it, which that game's on Switch.
Oh, I'm getting a Fios ad.
Do you not have premium?
No, I'm on the Wolf Den account.
Oh, okay. Well, whenever that's done.
So, I didn't beat Sonic Frontiers. Do you?
It's worth it.
Do you play as Super Sonic at all? I think people said that.
Not only did you not beat Sonic Frontiers, you didn't beat the first area.
Oh.
yeah.
Do you get
play...
Super Sonic that quickly?
So the way that game works is every area you got to find the Chaos Gems, and then once you find them all, you have a really sick boss battle with them, and then they separate into a new area, and you got to find them again.
I've been literally just every time I open the game, I just mindlessly wander around the world, and I go, "Where is the level?" And then I just stop playing.
It's not the best game. I don't blame you for not having finished it, but I think playing through the worlds and getting to the boss fights and just mostly what pushed me along is wanting to hear what song they played in the next boss fight, because it was always sick, dude. I would crank the volume.
Yeah, Sonic boss fights. Usually the final boss fights are the epic ones.
I've been running my antivirus nonstop ever since it happened, and I had no idea it played a sound when it was done, and it just hit my ears so loud. I almost jumped out of my chair. All right, well, that's Sonic Frontiers. Wait, we didn't even really talk about what the DLC is. What's the DLC?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Oh.
Everybody was going nuts that this is Supersonic 2. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, Scoot said that his eyes go green in the trailer, which is a direct reference to Super Saiyan 2, that when their eyes go green. So they're literally playing even more into the fact that Supersonic is literally just Super Saiyan Sonic.
Yeah.
Which has kind of always been the meme. Like, even the intention, I think, is that he's literally going Super Saiyan.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a ripoff.
Oh, wait. Is it happening here?
That was it. Yeah, he did it.
His eyes were blue. They look blue to me.
They went from red to like a green, like a teal. I don't know.
That's literally a Dragon Ball thing. That's kind of cool.
Okay.
It means he's gotten stronger.
We also see. Thank you. I didn't know that Supersonic 1 to 2 would make him stronger.
I just didn't know if you've seen Dragon Ball, Bob.
They got tails and stuff.
So Super Saiyan 3,
mm-hmm.
Super Saiyan. So Super Saiyan 2, Bob, when they first started going Super Saiyan 2, they would get like super beefcake jacked, but it would make them really slow and kind of inefficient. So they had to learn how to go Super Saiyan 2 Ascended or something where they control their muscles, but they still have the same level of strength.
I saw that one clip where he's like walking towards a bad guy and he talks him through every Super Saiyan level.
I haven't seen that.
And I was like, that's fucking dumb.
Have you seen the photo of Trunks when he goes Super Saiyan 2 before he like controls his muscles?
No.
I sent it to you. Yo, man's is jacked.
I'm not playing. Oh, it's just a picture.
It's just a picture. It's just a picture.
There he is.
Just hulked out, man.
We didn't talk about Sonic Superstars, the multiplayer trailer. They don't show you what happens when one of the characters goes off the screen. We still don't know what happens. Some people are saying you're gonna bubble like you do in Mario, in New Super Mario Brothers. I don't know. That'd be weird. Also, there's no online multiplayer, so you have to be next to the person that you're playing with. And there is a battle mode, and that's online. So they let you play that online, but they don't let you play the other version the other part online.
Stupid.
Yeah. The game looks really good, but I got concerns.
The only other two things of note, I think, here, I mean, there's a lot of games on this list, and honestly, I haven't seen half of the trailers. I'm looking at the names, and I don't know what half of them are. I've been busy. I was hacked. Did I tell you that? Mm-hmm. The other two ones that kind of pop out, Alan Wake 2 got another trailer that I'm excited to watch because I'm very excited for that game. And Cyberpunk 2077 DLC. The only reason why I'm looking at that is because I once made a whole video on that game because I was very excited. And people are asking me what I think of the DLC and all the changes they've made. I think the gameplay looks improved. Still very slow and clunky as far as like the combat. The combat looks improved. It doesn't really do anything for me in expanding the world or giving me the Cyberpunk experience that I was promised. It just makes the gameplay more fun or the combat more fun in amongst an already kind of lackluster game. I will say one thing that's interesting is I had a whole part in my video where I talk about how the skill tree is literally just stat point increases. Every single skill you can unlock is just get 0.5% better chance at getting a crit. Get 0.10% more damage when you're holding a meat shield. Like, none of it is actually unlocking a single skill. It is all stat increases. I made a big point about that because in some of the trailers leading up to the game, they made it look like you could unlock skills and you can't. In this new Phantom Liberty trailer, there is a whole section about what they call the improved reimagined skill tree, where it's actually unlocking abilities. You can actually unlock on a skill tree abilities that you can do in the combat. And I don't want to say that I had any part to do with that, but that is one big problem I had with the game that they finally addressed, which I appreciate.
It
So
does
I'll
look,
check out the DLC.
I watched the trailer and it does look a lot better. I didn't even know it was Cyberpunk, to be honest. I was watching, I was like, this game looks cool. What is this?
The
And it was
gameplay
Cyberpunk.
is greatly like combat's greatly improved. It looks a lot more fun. There's actually things you can do now to feel like you have like cool body parts, you know, like ripping people's heads with like blades in your arms, which was the whole idea. It's just the game itself, you're still playing in this dead open world game with nothing to do other than mindlessly kill bad AI enemies. So unless they've done more to improve that, I don't think the game's going to be much better. But I'll check it out.
Also, you mentioned Alan Wake. It seems like the big thing with this trailer is they're showing off how there's going to be live action cutscenes, and they seamlessly weave into the game. Like it seems like his like dream world is live action or something like that.
I actually haven't seen that. I'm not surprised by that. That's really sick. In the first Alan Wake, there was a lot of every now you'd see like TV old school CRT TV sets in certain levels, and they would be playing videos of Alan, like a live action Alan, almost like in an interrogation room kind of thing. And even in the DLC, American Nightmare, they did a lot of that where you could watch these live action segments. So if they've kind of blended that into the actual story and cinematics, I think that's a really good idea and hasn't really been done at all.
I think it's been done in ways that are really bad usually, but I think that they could do a really good job from what I've seen so far. They seem like they know what they're doing with cinematics.
Actually, that's interesting because they changed the way Alan looks for this game. A sizable amount. Like it's got the same vibe, but he looks a lot different. And I wondered why they did that. They probably did it to match the actor that they got to play him.
Yeah, and also it's supposed to be he's like trapped in this world for like years, right? So he's like all scruffy.
Yeah.
All right, let's end the Gamescom stuff. We're like at the hour mark. You want to breeze through some of the console stuff?
Well, we do have a bonus episode to talk about some things. Do you want to talk about the console stuff or talk about Martinet?
Charles Martinet, I feel like that's a quick thing to get into. He's just not doing Mario.
He's retired. What do you want?
He's not doing the Mario voice anymore. I mean, he's going to be doing it at conventions and whatever. He's still representing the brand according to Nintendo, but he's not. They officially said he is not the voice in Super Mario Wonder, which kind of blew my mind because I thought it sounded exactly like him. Except Charles Martinet would never be caught dead saying "wowie zowie."
Wowie zowie. Yeah, that is weird. I am a little sus onto this just because every time we go to Too Many Games here, we always see every year Charles Martinet is there. Every year he's full of energy and life and vigor. Every year he will do his Mario impressions for people. You know, he goes to every convention. He does it the convention circuit. This man has life, has energy. He's not old. He wants to be out there. He wants to make money. Why would he not want to continue this role? Like, it is like the biggest role of all time. To step down when he's still clearly very active, it almost seems like to me that Nintendo wanted to go a new direction.
I'd bet that Nintendo kind of forced him out. It might be a little bit of a mutual thing. But I'd say is Nintendo's like, hey, it's time. Like we're
I mean, I brought this up on my stream the other night, but what they've done with Mario all these years is a very outdated way of doing voice acting. You know, it's a very 90s thing to have one guy voice every character, and some of the characters are slightly pitched up because he can't actually do those voices, but it's that guy doing the voices. Yeah. Kind of like what South Park is still doing because they've been running for like 30 friggin' years. So I could see them wanting to. It sounds like they're getting voice actors for all the characters. Like Luigi and Mario are going to be different voice actors.
Yeah, so their official statement was that they have new actors for Mario and Luigi. Yeah. So actors. So they're splitting them up, yeah. So we don't know what Luigi sounds like yet at all. We haven't heard him in the trailer or anything.
It seems like it's a complete refresh, and characters are going to have their own actors and probably sound different. Yeah. I mean, the writing was on the wall, I think, with the Mario movie when Charles was not even considered for Mario. Yeah. I think
they gave him a cameo.
They did give him a cameo.
That was the least they could do.
I think that was just a turning point for Mario, and now we're in a new generation of Mario.
I'm honestly fine with recasting certain things when people get older. Like, you look at, like, James Earl Jones was Darth Vader up until when he just could not anymore. And, like,
yeah,
they should have changed the voice actor, like, a lot earlier than they did. Just because of novelty's sake. Like, it's got to be James Earl Jones, but, like, come on, man. It's not the same anymore. A
good example of that is to look at the new Lion King movie where James Earl Jones reprised his role, and it was not. It didn't hit. He's just old. I love him, and his voice is great, but he's just old.
Yeah, and you don't want that to happen. You don't want, just for novelty's sake, you don't want somebody to be the voice actor and have a worse product just because you want the guy because he's done it all this time.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to move on sometimes. Get some new fresh blood in there.
No,
and I think whatever they got in the new one sounds great so far.
I'm sure Charles is stoked. I mean, he got to play this character for like 30 years and I want to say set for life, but the man is near the tail end. But he's been set. His life has been set since his 30s. So yeah, I'm sure he's absolutely stoked. And power to him. He seems like a great guy every time. We were sat in the break room last too many games.
We always see him, and we're always right next to him.
I know.
Never
he was
say
sat
anything to him.
right next to us, and he was just talking to his little crew about the convention, and he was kind of making fun of some people that he saw on the floor, but like you could tell he was just having a good time. So just seems like a good guy. He's just having a laugh everywhere he goes.
Yeah, and he's gonna still do conventions and stuff. So
yeah, I'm sure. Him around. And that's probably honestly where he's made most of his money is convention circuits.
Yeah, I bet he doesn't make that much doing the games.
Unless he has some kind of deal where he gets royalties, and maybe that's public knowledge. I'm not sure. If he gets royalties, that's insane. But the dude does not dress like he gets royalties.
A lot of voice actors don't. I think voice actors straight up don't. I think they were fighting for that like a year ago.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
A lot of voice actors get paid very low for these high-profile games. But I think in Charles Martinet's case, it's like, oh, that's the guy who did Mario. We want him. And then other companies will pay a lot because he did Mario. You know what I mean? So, all right. You want to talk about how you were right about PlayStation real quick, and then we'll talk about the rest in the bonus?
Let's heckin' go, my guy. Okay, so all I know about this, I watched Kevin Kenson's video on the PlayStation Portable because I was
Portal!
Sorry! I don't know because I was literally trying to
Portable was an old one. We had that already. It's done already.
Computer all day, and the 5 minutes I had to take Dollar out to do a massive stinking poop in the yard, I was watching Kevin Kenson at the same time on my phone.
When Darla pees on the grass, does the grass change color?
The grass is dead in her pee spot.
Okay,
like it's all brown
apparently
all over her pee spot.
That's a big dog thing.
Oh. Yeah, well, she has destroyed a whole area of our yard. It's all just brown grass. Cool. But where she poops is super fertilized and grows faster than the rest of the grass. So we have little patches of bigger grass everywhere.
What happens in Death Stranding when you pee? Does it grow mushrooms?
Yeah, it does something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Anyway, PlayStation Portal.
I watched Kevin's video. Here's what I learned. They named it PlayStation Portable.
Nope.
Portal. They named it PlayStation Portal. It's not Q anymore. And it's $200, baby, which even I didn't expect it to be that low, but I was telling everybody, and you can go back and listen to it in the podcast, I was telling this stupid, dumb, idiot guy, there's no way it was going to be more than $300 because it is literally just a controller, which is what, $70 with a screen in the middle. And if you think they're going to charge more than $230 for just a screen, they got to be smoking a special kind of crack.
How much is a PSVR? They charge so much for such dumb shit, PlayStation.
I agree with that, but this would just be egregious, man, because you're taking something that you already manufacture, you're just splitting it in half and putting a screen in the middle. Any more than $230 more on top is absolutely insane, and it just streams the games. Now, I will say that even though I knew it was going to be $300 or less, I still would have put money on 200 being too low. If you had said, do you think 200 or 400? I probably would have said, if I have to pick one, we'll go $400 because no way we're getting 200.
I would have
That's
never
crazy.
in a million years guessed 200.
That is crazy.
200 is the price, I think, is the maximum price I think most PlayStation gamers are willing to spend. But I never in a million years thought PlayStation would meet them down that low.
It is actually nuts. It is a great price. I mean, I was kind of hoping for like $249 would be the low end. I think 200 is a fantastic price because, again, a controller
it's a good
is like
price for what it is.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think, like, we've talked about this a lot of times. The general consensus online is that this is still a dumb idea. People still don't like it, and people are still not willing. At least the vocal majority that I'm hearing are still not willing to spend any amount of money on this accessory that they're calling it.
Yeah, I think I'm a little, some doesn't happen often, but I am a little on just a backwards with that. It's one of them weird times where I'm looking at the reaction of everybody so confidently saying it's dumb and being like, is it dumb? Mm-hmm. Like, I get it not being for everyone, but dumb is pretty extreme. Like, if this ends up being a flop, okay, it was dumb and I'll wear that one. But I think it's going to do just fine for them, especially at 200. Again, with a controller being $70, almost $100. If you're in the market for another controller and you go to the store and there's one with a screen on it where it can portabilize your console and you get a second controller.
Well, there's no shot this works as another controller.
Yeah, I think it will.
It'll be the first player and it'll be streamed. So
I think you'll be able to use it as player 2 or as a controller.
I think there will be, I think no. And I think if you use it as player 1, there might be lag because it's going to be connecting via Wi-Fi and not via Bluetooth to the console.
I think you'll be able to use it as player 2 and it'll show you what's happening on the screen, on your screen, or you can just look at the TV with the person you're playing.
Then I think it would be a waste. Actually, I know that it can't do that because it does not have Bluetooth.
Well, how does it connect to the PlayStation?
Through Wi-Fi, through your home network.
It doesn't have Bluetooth?
So it's confirmed that it doesn't have Bluetooth for audio. I'm assuming that means Bluetooth at all.
Oh, no Bluetooth for audio? So if you're in bed, how do you listen? You have to plug in?
With a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. Or, hold on. Or
this thing is dumb. This thing is dumb. It was a stupid thing.
One of the 2 headsets that they also revealed at the same time as this. There has the earbuds, the wireless earbuds, and the wireless headphones. Those are using Sony's own proprietary wireless audio technology.
So that can wireless to the PlayStation 5 or wireless to the device itself?
I'm assuming to the device, but I don't want to assume too much. It's probably to the device. It's probably actually the device has the technology built into it, so it's got to be to the device.
That's a little more rough. I'm not gonna lie. Not being able to do Bluetooth, because in my mind, you're buying a controller with a screen. If you can use that as a controller, you got use there. If you can Bluetooth audio to it, you can sit in bed and play. I gotta plug in now.
You gotta freaking get a wire.
This is getting a little more stupid. I'm not gonna lie. There's still the base element to it that I like. That if it streams well, I can play my games in any room of the house.
Yeah, and here's why I don't like. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna see how it works. The reason I don't like it is because I think it's just a piss poor design. I know you like the controllers just haphazardly slapped on the sides. This looks like a Homer Simpson project.
I don't know what's wrong with my brain if everyone's against me. I think it looks. I'm going to do a poll.
The design. Do you like the design of the
I'm going to do a poll.
Portal? My biggest issue with this is that there's so many other devices that we all already have and can easily get that can do what this does and more, like Bluetooth audio. I don't know how this is going to work better. And if this does work better, I still kind of hate it because it's PlayStation purposely making a walled garden for themselves, purposely making it so you have to buy their hardware to get the best experience.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can hate them for that, but you also have an Apple iPhone in your pocket. Like, that's just the way some of these companies are.
So Apple does a lot of things that are piss poor too by keeping you in the walled garden. Like, I hate iCloud, but they do a lot of things that can only exist within their walled garden.
Look, but I see this the same way with PlayStation. Also, physical gaming and media is dying. So PlayStation trying to do their best to create these physical products that, sure, they only work in their walled garden. At least they're making cool physical products and cool tech and things that you can actually physically buy, while Xbox is making Game Pass and everything's going digitally. Like, I don't know. I think there's two ways of thinking about it.
But that's the
but
that's
it's
the
a
difference.
physical
And that's
digital.
what I like. That's what I like about Game Pass more, is that Game Pass is like, do it with whatever you have.
They have their. I think they both
this is
have.
like, do it with this, and that's it.
They both have advantages and disadvantages. And look, with Xbox, it's like, yeah, do it with whatever you want. But then you have things like the dog bone, whatever, that I played on stream and we talked about it. I can grab it. Let me grab it.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I'm thinking that PlayStation is regretting doing this deal with Backbone because they haven't talked about it at all.
So, like, you can do things like this. This is the freedom you have, is that I can take a phone, I can slap it in the middle of these, what they call Backbone Joy-Cons, and this literally does what the PlayStation Portable is going to do. Here's the disadvantages. This thing was still $100. I had to use a phone or my phone or whatever, which costs money or whatever. You can just use your phone, of course. But the screen is like a long-ass phone screen, really thin, not really nice to game on, if I'm being honest. And then these like little tiny controllers, which are fine. Or you can just spend the $200 and you can get an actual PlayStation 5 controller with DualSense haptic feedback. Every game you play on PlayStation is going to use these features. You're going to get that full experience of playing the game. And you get a giant, honking, massive screen to play the game on.
So
there's advantages and disadvantages.
Another point is that you can just straight up use the DualSense controller that you have already on your PlayStation 5 and connect that to your phone. And that is $0.
So you like did a 3D printer thing where you put the screen above the controller and you can
buy a clip for like $10, but
you can do that. You're still playing on a phone screen, which is a horrible resolution to play games on,
but it's free.
Yeah.
But it's free, and it does exactly what this is going to do.
But also, you can still do that. That's not going away.
Right.
You can still do that. This is just another option, a better option, but another option.
It's a $200 option that might not necessarily be necessary.
Yeah, but I mean, how much is a PlayStation controller? It's already $80 anyway.
But this isn't a PlayStation controller. We've established that this will not work like a PlayStation controller.
Yeah, but
if you buy a second PlayStation controller, now you have another PlayStation controller and you have one that can connect to your phone and you can use.
Yeah, but it's a phone. No one wants that, Bob. No one's gaming on their phone.
Two controllers.
Phone sucks. No one wants to play on an anamorphic squishy.
Again, what I like about xCloud is that you can just play it on whatever controller you have is just fine. If you have an 8-bit Do controller, connect that to your phone and you can use that. Like there's just a million options. And the streaming is a lot better. Remote play to an Xbox works a lot better than remote play to a PlayStation 5.
So I'm not alone in the poll, but it is skewed towards no. 70% no, 30% yes. But I mean, now, that's like 50 people that are with me.
If you messed up and said PlayStation Portable, a lot more people would be on your side. That design is great. I mean, I like this. There's no fluff, no filler, and that's why I like it. I'm gonna get it, and I might change my opinion, but I
might get it and change my opinion. It might suck. It might legitimately suck, and I'm prepared for that.
I like it a lot more after hearing this price point. I was very skeptical because I didn't think they could hit this price point. So I'm more excited than I was, but I'm still like, why would I get this? I could just play it on my Backbone.
At the price of $200, I think people do have to ease off a little bit and like stop saying it's a dumb, silly thing to do. Because at $200, it's almost like it's just an option. It's just there. Like they're not trying anything wacky, like with the PlayStation VR 2 and charging $500 for it, and then it fails, and then people are like, well, duh, it sucks, and you charged $500 for it.
I guess why I'm upset is because they purposely won't let you use other controllers on other devices because they want you to buy their stuff. That's why I'm upset that this exists.
Yeah, I understand. I get that. For me, I don't want to use any other controllers. Like, this is best case scenario, but I'm very particular with wanting to use original hardware for things, which is why I love certain things like the Satisfy grip, because it allows me to use my Joy-Cons while still it being comfortable. While there are other products that create third-party, big, massive honking Joy-Cons that feel comfortable, but they're not my Nintendo Joy-Cons. I'm very, I don't want to say loyalist because I'm not doing it on purpose, but I want to just know that I'm using the official hardware to get the official experience.
I feel that way with a lot of stuff. I think I've changed my opinion on that very recently with the Nintendo Switch and a lot of the great controllers accessories that we've gotten. Like the 8BitDo Ultimate is like just as good, if not better, than a Pro controller. But then also I've been playing a lot of games through emulation from systems past that have pretty bad controllers by today's standards, and they do feel a lot better on more modern controllers. So I think that it is good to play like a AAA experience with the controller that they want you to experience it with, but also I don't think there's a problem with skirting around it for convenience sake.
You know, I very almost came around to the King Kong Pro 2 whatever controller for Switch.
Yeah, that controller's good too.
That controller was sick. It was like a Pro controller, but better. And I switched to it for almost a good month, and then it broke. And then I was like, this is why I don't use third-party stuff. Because you know what's not broke? All of my Pro controllers.
What broke about it?
It got massive stick drift.
That is supposed to... See, this is why I hate this new like trend of Hall sensing sticks. Actually, which one do you have? You might have the one.
I'll have to... It was Ghillie Kit 2 or something. But it was like, it was more than stick drift. It was like, well, I guess, no, it was just stick drift. It was literally like slammed like against... It was almost like the stick was... Yeah, it broke.
Straight up broke. So like, I think that's the one that has Hall sensing sticks. It was like the first controller for the Switch that said that it had Hall sensing. And that's supposed to not drift at all. And I hate this like trend of Hall. Everybody's like, we gotta get Hall sensing because I'm so afraid of stick drift. It's still gonna happen. It might if it's a poorly designed and a poorly manufactured stick, it's gonna drift anyway. So
I know that stick drift on Switch is a thing. I'm not saying that it's not. I know a lot of people have suffered from it. Maybe even yourself. I can't remember.
Nope.
Me either.
I know.
I
don't know what these people are doing with their sticks, man.
I've never had stick drift. Like
I thought maybe I had it once, and then I went like this, and it went away.
Even when the Switch first came out and I was smashing Smash, like playing Smash, which is a lot of like fast, like smashing the Joy-Cons, fine. Never had stick drift. I don't know what you guys are like rubbing your sticks in the mud or something.
So
I don't know.
Actually, Hannah had it on one of her sticks, but it was like when she said it would happen really bad every once in a while, and then I took it to fix it, and it was very little drift. I couldn't like replicate it. And then I had a friend who gave me his. He said he had really bad drift. I could not replicate it at all. I don't know what.
I remember there was a video you made where you wanted to fix stick drift, so you tried to give yourself stick drift, and you couldn't do it.
That's what it was. I wanted to fix the stick drift, so I asked my friend to give me his. I was like, I'll fix yours, and then he gave it to me, and I couldn't replicate it. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll just make it worse.
You know why? Because the guy thought he had stick drift just like everybody else, and he didn't actually have it.
I do think that people think they have it when they don't. I think that it's a big problem, and a lot of people get it more than they should, but I think that people get in their heads and they assume they have it when they don't.
People are getting tilted right now because I know a lot of people have had it, and they're like, no, I had it, and I believe you. I believe half of you. I believe half of you. I believe some of you. All right, we're at the tail end here. I want to read the super chats for today.
Okay.
And then we can get out of here. And then we're going to do a bonus episode over on Patreon, which we will be live for. And if you want to join us for that, it is a low price of $5 a month over on Patreon. We had no sponsor in today's episode, so that $5 honestly would support us so much. and you will get access to 66 bonus episodes, which is a little overwhelming, but you can just start with today's. Before we get there, Agton at the start of the stream gifted 3 subs, and thank you so much if you're still here. If you ever give super chats or anything during the stream, wait till the end because I'll probably get to it there. Braxton Covery with a membership as well, saying we are live. Look out, it's Jax with $5. Haywood, thanks for the Discord DM earlier. Just one question. Why'd you need my social security number? Yeah, no, I wouldn't reply to that guy. That's probably not me. Braxton with 5. Hi, Dark Type here. BRB about to make Tears of the Kingdom clone where you actually get to pet the dog. That's what that was. But you think that's why they showed petting the dog?
Oh, absolutely. They want it. Yeah, they want.
Because they're like, you can't do this in Zelda. We added not only, and then they went overboard and they were like, not only the dog, but the cat and the sheep and the goat.
Yeah, they're making it a farm animal game.
They really were rubbing salt in Nintendo's wound. Mr. Rock with $2. Keep up the great work. Sora-san with 150. Reek with 5 and a sticker. Agton, thanks for being family friendly. Much appreciated. Well, I am. These episodes sometimes go off of the rails thanks to Bob. Reek with $2. Best chemistry on YouTube award. Hey, tell the streamies. The main me with $5. Hey guys, I love the jingle in the intro. It makes me think of Christmas. I know, me too. Every time it's like a Christmas song. And finally, Reek with $2 says, just buy Vitcher. I guess they're also a Vitcher fan. Thank you so much. That's everything. If you're listening to the audio, please rate us 5 stars and little comment. If you're watching on YouTube and it's your first time here, because Bob and I collabed today and shouted out the podcast, why don't you subscribe? We do an episode this time every single week, and you'll see us next week. And see you for the bonus. That's it. Bob, any thoughts?
Yeah, I just want to say bye.